by Green. Throws it back up top. James puts up the three. Oh, it's good! LeBron James from downtown.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video of 3 Guys on Mic. I'm William, joined by my guy,
Little Man.
And before we get into the video, just want to remind you guys to like, subscribe, share the video, give us your thoughts. And us at 3 Guys on Mic Corporation, we've been thinking about a new name. Maybe anything that you guys could suggest. You know, we're kind of brainstorming right now.
We've literally got into a generator on Yahoo.com.
Yeah, most of the names are horrible, but may not be worse than
some of them are pretty good. Yeah,
100%.
Some of them are okay.
But yeah, so any ideas, anything, any routes you think we should go, just let us know. Hit us up in our DMs. Follow us on Instagram.
We'll put a poll up. Yeah,
put a poll up on a few names that we come down on. But anyways, so as you know, NFL division round. Playoffs are here, you know. The 8 best teams are finally made it. And I think, what are you saying?
8 best teams.
Yeah, obviously they're the 8 best teams. And I think every single one of these games is going to be very interesting. I think all these games could come down to the wire. But we're going to start off with let's start off with upset of the week and then most anticipated.
Like that.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Upset of the week.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I mean, nobody other than the man himself to give it to. Been riding high, him and his team's success all season. They hit their peak at the right time at such a young age, and I think that they can go in there and get this win. And my upset of the week would be the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, we don't know how healthy Derrick Henry's gonna be. This has been a down year for Ryan Tannehill. The only thing carrying them really, in my eyes, has been the defense and Mike Vrabel. He's a phenomenal coach. I think he deserves Coach of the Year. But that offense, I mean, Julio Jones hasn't gotten going. I think their DBs can for sure keep him contained. And I think that they can throw a lot at A.J. Brown. And he's been really their only receiver. And then again, he's battling injuries too himself.
Yeah.
So it's all going to come down to that O-line and D-line on who wants him more in the trenches. And Derrick Henry, I know damn well they can get after Ryan Tannehill. That O-line is pass protection is just a totally opposite of what they do in the run game.
Yeah.
And with the Bengals, I see a lot of positives going into this. The run game, I think the Titans are very vulnerable. I've seen the Patriots and multiple other teams do that. Even the Texans ran all over them. And on the opposite side of the ball, like I said, I still think they can get after Ryan Tannehill. They can make it a tough outing for Derrick Henry, especially because it's his first game back since, I believe, week 8.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. And I got the Bengals as my upset of the week.
Okay, score prediction.
Score prediction, I'll go 27-24.
Okay, not bad. Going into this game, I think the Bengals, they obviously do have the edge when it comes to being a more complete team. But you look at what the Titans have accomplished this season. They're getting their best player back and could be arguably the MVP if he played all 17 games this season. Looking at what he did, still top 6 in rushing yards after missing a big chunk of the season. But I think that if you look at the Bengals, have the better quarterback. They have the better skill. They have the better receivers. They have the better... They could hold their own when it comes to running back. I don't think Joe Mixon is anywhere in the league of Derrick Henry, but he still gives you the quality yards, gives you the quality plays. You look at P. Ryan, he gives a good third down. He's a good third down back.
Power back.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that the Tennessee Titans, they need to formulate some kind of pressure on Joe Burrow. As you know, Joe Burrow is the most sacked quarterback in the NFL. Especially, that's surprising considering how mobile he is. And again, he is coming back from an ACL injury, but it's not like he's a stiff. It's not like he just can't get out of pressure. But so it is kind of alarming to see how his offensive line has been performing this year. I think the Tennessee Titans could certainly get after him. But I think even if you do get after Joe Burrow, it's hard to stop these 3 wide receivers for the Bengals. Jamar Chase, as Aaron said, I think he's getting up there with players that you just can't guard. Players that it's just going to be hard to take away. Again, you have T. Higgins, who's a 6'6" monster out there, has the body of a tight end, but has the speed of a wide receiver. You look at Tyler Boyd, I think he's kind of slept on this season. A big guy who's been performing well in the past 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, number one receiver for the past 2 to 3
years.
Yeah,
but he's been overlooked by the greater talents on that team. But I think that this team's going to be hard to stop. I agree with Aaron. I think this is the upset of the week. But I don't know. The Titans with that home crowd, that home field advantage. Looking at all the injuries that they faced this season, Mike Vrabel's done a great job managing this team after all these injuries. But I don't know, it's gonna be hard. I think as I said, we said this last year, if the Tennessee Titans fall down, if they fall behind, it's gonna be hard to keep Derrick Henry in the game, keep him involved. I think, as I said in the offseason, it's gonna help you because A.J. Brown and Julio Jones are back. But we really haven't seen them click. we've seen them have good spurts of great games, like AJ Brown against the 49ers. But we haven't really seen this offense click as a whole in one game through all 4 quarters. I think this is going to be hard for them to do, but I think they have the better head coach. I think they have the better player. They have the best player on that field. I'm going to go with the Bengals.
It's upset of the week.
No, but I mean, if it's the upset of the week, I still could pick the Titans. That's our rules.
True,
yeah. But I just think it's hard. I think it's going to be too hard.
I did last week with the Eagles.
Yeah. I think it's too hard. I think it's too hard to be one-dimensional in this game if you're the Titans. I think that just the offense of the Bengals could do too much. So, again, I think the experience is a factor, but I trust Joe Burrow more than I trust Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, that's true. And last year these teams faced off. Joe Burrow absolutely destroyed them with his arm. And
With no offensive line.
He was missing 4 offensive line that game. So, I mean, will we see a repeat? I don't know. This Titans team is way more talented than last year, and they can get after the quarterback way better than they did in the past.
I can give a score prediction. I'm going to go 34-28 Bengals.
34-20.
The next game we're going to go ahead and get into is the biggest game. I think is the most anticipated game of the weekend. And it's the Bills and the Chiefs. Looking at these two teams, powerhouses, I think this isn't really a surprise, knowing that these two teams are going to face off in this year's playoffs. I think we're going to see it in the next 10, 15 years to come. I think these teams are going to face off a lot. I think these two quarterbacks are going to face off a lot. What do you see in this game? Who do you have winning and why?
Oh, tell you what, it's a lot different than the last time they met.
Yeah.
Even though the Bills were a lot more healthy. But, I don't know, it's just like, this is one of those games where you just have to look at a lot of the stuff where it's just talent and coaching. Because with the Bills, I mean, everyone knows they're riding high, right? 5 touchdown passes, no perfect. But it's like one team can look like that one weekend, and it's the NFL, as we all know, any given Sunday, and then they can just totally shut down. Mm-hmm. And if you all know, last year is just the infamous picture of Stephon Diggs and a couple players looking at them celebrate. So I don't think it would be a surprise to me if the Bills win. Mm-hmm. But like I said, it's just like the Chiefs are the new dynasty. It's going to be hard to get around them. And I think it's going to take the Bills a couple more years to do that. And I think the Chiefs obviously want to get back at them for what they did on that Sunday Night Football game.
Yeah.
It's absolutely manhandling them in every aspect of football. I think Josh Allen will have a big game on his legs and through the air, again like he did last year. But this team, if they want to win, they have to go through the defense. The defense has to make Patrick Mahomes look just uncomfortable in the pocket. They have to take away Travis Kelce early. And a lot of teams have done it this year. They've taken away Tyreek Hill pretty early in the games too.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I think I'm still putting my faith in the Arrowhead crowd and Big Red and Pat Mahomes. I mean, even when he's uncomfortable, he's comfortable. With that saying in football, be comfortable and being uncomfortable,
yeah.
right? I think the Chiefs are a perfect example of that. They have a lot to prove with everyone saying that they were done for this season, way too early. But I think I'll take them in a close game. I think I'll go 34-31.
Okay. Looking at these two teams, again, the biggest thing that I've been harping on when it comes to the Bills is their inability to win close games. I was looking at their season. I'll give... technically they're 0-4 when it comes to one-score games. They're 0-4. But I'll give them that one game in Foxborough. I think that was a closer game than the score showed. So I'm going to give them that game. I think that was a really close game. That was a good win for them. But the other losses that they have when it comes to Tampa Bay, when it comes to the Steelers, when it comes to the Jaguars. I forgot off the top of my head the last game that was close that they lost. It's like so many of these games. The Titans. It was like so many of these games where the course of one play, like a failed QB sneak against Tennessee, you would expect Josh Allen to come up more clutch, and I'm not saying it's all on him. Obviously, there's times where his defense didn't perform, like in Tampa Bay, but looking at the Chiefs, 6-3 in close games. And in a lot of those close games that they lost, it was due to their turnovers. It was due to themselves. Self-inflicted wounds. Patrick Mahomes throwing a horrible interception in Baltimore, and then a fumble late in Baltimore. Looking at other games that they lost, other games that they won week 1 against Cleveland. All these other games that they just come out and perform well. They're well coached. And I think Andy Reid, this game, I think he's going to really, he's going to put in his best effort. We saw them getting more creative, more playful against the Steelers last week. I think that's going to continue. Looking at it, I think the Bills are going to struggle with no Tre'Davious White. I think that's a huge injury that has yet to really come to light. Obviously, they've sustained their defense and played great without him on the field. But I think this game is going to look to be different. I think Tyreek Hill is going to get loose. Because again, he was doing a really good job on Tyreek Hill that first game, and he had an interception, I believe. I think that the Bills that first game they did a great job of just turning the ball over, getting turnovers, getting the pick six. Their D-line got a lot of pressure, and I think that it's gonna be hard. Okay, I think I trust the Bills defense to come up with the takeaway, and I think that's what this game is gonna come down to. I think it's gonna come down to just one turnover at the end of the game. Any of that, I think it's just gonna change the momentum completely. But talking about momentum, I think the Chiefs' home crowd, that Arrowhead crowd, that chant that everyone knows so well. I just don't trust the Bills to win that close game. I think it's gonna be very close. I trust in Patrick Mahomes. I trust in that running game that's been getting going. I trust in that running game that's been getting going over the Bills. I do like what the Bills showed, but it's a small sample size.
I don't know about that one.
What?
The running game?
The running game?
I also take the Bills. I have to see what Devin Singletary and Josh
I know, but
Allen
I'm saying it's a small sample size. They have tried to run the ball more. Both teams have tried. I think also that the Chiefs are getting Clyde Edwards-Helaire back, so I think that's a big gain when it comes to their staff. But I'm just gonna go with the Chiefs. I think they have the better quarterback as of now. And I believe it was an over/under that both quarterbacks were gonna combine for 9 touchdowns. What do you think? You're taking the over or the under?
Jesus, man. I'll go under.
I think it's gonna be more.
I think Devin Singletary. Well, because you said it's through the air, right? Passing touchdowns?
Yeah, passing touchdowns.
Yeah, see, passing touchdowns. I think Josh Allen gets 1, Devin Singletary gets 1, and I think the Chiefs running back gets at least 1. So I'll give them both. I'll say combined they throw at least 4 or 6.
4 or 6
combined touchdown passes. You realize how much like 3 touchdown passes? 3 touchdown passes is a lot in the playoffs.
You know what
nowadays?
both these quarterbacks did last week?
Oh my god!
I'm saying.
And look at their defenses have improved drastically. I wouldn't even honestly.
But
I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 17-14.
Okay, but look at the defenses that both teams played last week. Bills played the Patriots, who were renowned as the top 5 defense, and the Steelers, who had TJ Watt on their team making big plays. I think both of these teams did really well. Probably had their best offensive outing.
And these two teams are probably the best at doing their homework.
I believe so.
So I wouldn't expect it to be. Or I wouldn't be surprised if it was a low-scoring game, honestly.
I'm gonna take the Chiefs over the Bills. I'm gonna go 27-21. I think it's gonna be low scoring. Just
another
like
touchdown pass gonna make you smile like last week.
Bro, I'm telling you, Patrick Mahomes is. I don't know, man. I love Josh Allen too. Don't get me wrong. I will be happy with whatever team wins this game.
Oh, okay.
Both of these teams, I love both of these
quarterbacks. If the Chiefs lose, he's coming in. It's gonna be bad.
I'm not a Chiefs fan. I'm a Patrick Mahomes fan. I'm a big Red fan. I'm an Andy Reid fan, but I still go for the Bills. The Bills are still a really good team and exciting. Just picking the Chiefs on this occasion. Next game we're going to get into is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Los Angeles Rams. I think this is going to be a very, very, very good game. I think it could turn out. I think it's a battle of their defenses. I really do. I think looking at both of these teams, I think their defenses are hit or miss. As you know, the games that they have lost, the Buccaneers defense hasn't really turned out to be what we thought they have been, or what they could have been. But looking at this last week against the Eagles, shutting down that run game, I think that's a big step in the right direction.
I think the Eagles shut down their own run.
Yeah, I'm not trying to bring up my own team, but yeah, running outside run the whole time instead of running up the middle. But looking at it, the time where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers made that playoff run, it was due to their defense. I understand Tom Brady gets a lot of the credit, but that defense was the biggest thing, the biggest reason why they won that Super Bowl. Look at what they did to Tyreek Hill. I'm not going to get into it too much, but I think that they need to perform.
I'm not trying to get into it too much.
They need to come up big. Tampa Bay's defense needs to come up big, especially with the injuries when it comes to their offense. And they need to come up big. But I think the biggest defense, the biggest question mark, to me, is the Rams. Which defense are we going to get? Last week's defense, where they were getting pressure on Kyler Murray. Again, only mustered up, I think, 1.5 sack. But they got pressure a lot more than it seemed. That pick 6 was due to them, but he was just trying to get the ball.
How many hurries they had?
Yeah, I couldn't find the stats. But yeah, this Rams defense needs to show up. Now look, pressure is key in this game, especially when it comes to Tom Brady and Matthew Stafford. Now, I'm not saying they're stiffs, but by no means are they mobile quarterbacks, right? I think whoever gets pressure up the middle has the biggest advantage. Yeah. You look at Aaron Donald and Gaines. What's his name?
Gaines.
What's his first? No, what's his first name? I don't know his first name. Yeah. But
Brett.
but both of these defensive lines with Vita Vea, they both need to get interior pressure. They both need to just make Matthew Stafford or Tom Brady roll out of the pocket and have their ends crash and just do what they do best. Now, for Tampa Bay, you're gonna have Jalen Ramsey on Mike Evans the whole game. That's going to be something that you need to look out for. Because, again, Mike Evans, I really do like him. But going against Jalen Ramsey, I think he could win a few, but I think Jalen Ramsey is mostly going to take him away. So it's going to be based off of Gronk, off of Tyler Johnson, Giovanni Bernard even out the backfield. And hopefully they get Leonard Fournette back. But I think the biggest component and the biggest player besides Tom Brady is Matthew Stafford. I think this game's all on him. If he plays like he did last week, using his legs, not looking like a deer in headlights, actually getting out of the pocket, sliding, getting short scrambles, finding Cooper Kupp in the red zone, I think that's their biggest thing. I think they need to get touchdowns in this game. They can't take field goals. You need to find Odell. You need to be creative with him. You need to find Cooper Kupp. I think you need to utilize Cam Akers. I don't think the run game is going to be as successful as it was against the Cardinals due to the Tampa Bay's defense, but I think you still need to try. You still need to get the attempts in. It has to be at least 20 attempts. I'm tired of the Rams just being inconsistent when it comes to the running game. I need them to run the ball, at least keep the defense on their toes. I'm going to go with the Rams, though. I really do believe in the Rams. I believe in their coach over, what's his face?
Arians?
Yeah, over Bruce Arians. I think Tom Brady's a better quarterback, but I think he has the least amount of help. I think looking at the skill positions, it's way more on the Rams side. I think Matthew Stafford, he gets it done.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm going with the Rams too. My reason being remember in week 2, I believe, or week 3, when they faced off?
Yeah.
I said that the Rams can protect Stafford more than they can protect Brady. And now with that being said, it's almost like the same thing, this playoff matchup, right? The rematch. And this time Tristan Wirfs isn't playing. Well,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's not going to play.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's almost a sure thing. Either way, if he does play,
He didn't look too good last week.
he didn't look too good while hopping off the field. I'm pretty sure that's going to affect his game if he does play. And now this time they get Von Miller, Leonard Floyd, and Aaron Donald. I mean, any of those three can get after Brady easy, and I'm pretty sure he's going to have nightmares after this game.
They allowed 4 sacks and 18 FLs, by the way, the Buccaneers last week against the Eagles defense. So
Jesus. And Fletcher Cox wasn't even on every snap.
yeah, it was mostly Ryan Kerrigan
and Hargrave.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with that being said, the Rams, they also have, to me, another reason why I think they'll win this game is Cam Akers. Mm-hmm. I just think he can pound the ground against this defense. I think he can catch out of the backfield. But I think with Devin White, I feel like he's going to be zeroing in on him a lot.
for sure.
But with that, listen, he can zero in on anyone he wants. But when you have Levante David, that's fine, right? It's just I don't know who's going to be playing that opposite middle linebacker. So to me, that leaves a lot of stuff open in the middle of the field for Cooper Kupp. Higbee is a guy that they got a lot of targets to on Monday. And Van Jefferson. I think they're going to play a lot of stuff under 20 yards. And then they're going to sneak in a lot of those deep plays to Van Jefferson and Odell deeper into the game when they need a real big play.
I like how you bring that up because for the Rams offense, that's kind of the bread and butter is hitting the middle of the field.
Exactly.
Obviously with Cooper Kupp, Odell did a lot of that against the Cardinals. But looking at that first game against Tampa Bay at SoFi Stadium, Deshaun Jackson, he had that long touchdown pass, but I think there was a lot of missed opportunities for Matthew Stafford. I think he could have been way more explosive that game. I think they're going to look into honing on that again.
Yes. And with that being said, I think even the Rams, even though all their injuries, I think another thing that they did very well in that Week 3 matchup was contain Gronk. Yeah, with that being said, my score prediction, honestly, I think I'll go 28-25 Rams.
20-25.
I'm taking the Rams. Yeah, I think it'll come down to the end, in my opinion. But like I said, I think with Matt Stafford, I expect at least a pick from both of them this game. Because the moment they get pressure in their face, it's a done deal. It's either a pick six or a pick or a ball that's up in the air. They don't do good with pressure in their face. But I think the Rams can commit more turnovers, get more sacks, and get after Brady a lot easier, especially with Wirfs possibly being out on the. I think they play Sunday, right? They're the second
Sunday,
game.
yeah. They're the first game on Sunday.
The first game on Sunday. I know it's in Tampa, but I mean last year they beat them with Jared Goff and a lot healthier Tampa Bay team.
Yeah.
So I think I'll take them this year with a lot better defense and a more talented quarterback in Tampa Bay.
Okay. Nice. Oh, I didn't give my score prediction. I would say.
Yeah, you did.
No, did I? No, I didn't. I'll say 27-23.
Rams.
Yeah, I think. All right, guys, going ahead with our last game, San Francisco 49ers and the Green Bay Packers. These two teams have a lot of history together, as the Cowboys and 49ers did. I think it's another storied rivalry. Again, it's not as big as the Cowboys and Niners, but in the recent past decade, both these teams have played a lot of big games. The Niners, as you know, I think the biggest win for them was 2 years ago, going to the Super Bowl, completely decimating this Packers team. And I think it definitely has to be in the back of their minds. I think the Packers yeah, they have to just be thinking about it. Matt LaFleur, before the season started, said that they're trying to get just through the regular season, and I think they're just trying to focus on the NFC Championship game. Those are his words, and everyone brought that up when it came to the Jacksonville Week 1, right? But I think that this is their time. It's go time. Honestly, I think this is the one team. If I'm a Packers fan, again, I'm nervous because of the matchup, but you really wouldn't want it. You really wouldn't want it any other way.
I wouldn't either.
You get a physical team which is what you struggle with in recent
years. Your
years.
two most physical players back too.
Yeah, you're getting your two most physical players back. That's something that we've been harping on. That the Packers, they've been doing this without their two best players on defense. They're finally coming back. I don't know if you guys saw the endgame meme when all of them came back with their faces cropped on it. Listen, this is the time to win if you're a Packers fan. You're the last dance, if you will call it, for Aaron Rodgers. And
they don't win this game or make it to the NFC Championship. You could see Aaron Rodgers in either on hosting Jeopardy again or in Las Vegas.
I think it's up in the air right now, but yeah, if they do lose this game, it's gonna be sad to see. But I don't know, man. The Niners, they look really good for about 2.5 quarters. I think they look really good.
They're gonna hate my take.
Actually, I want to hear your take. Go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna ask you a question, right?
Okay.
Do you think the way the Niners played, how impressive was their win on Sunday? Be honest.
I thought it was
The
impressive.
way everything went down.
I was impressed by the way they started off the game.
Okay, so do you honestly think that they can go into Green Bay and play like that, and they can beat Aaron Rodgers for a 4th time in the playoffs with the way they play on Sunday?
When it comes to the offense, they obviously don't have to beat Aaron Rodgers. I think it's all in the Packers. I think the Packers will beat themselves. Same with the Cowboys, I think could have beaten themselves.
Exactly. So my point being is that I have the Packers winning this game, and I'm not this, and I am petty, okay? I'm just gonna admit it, right? But all these Niner fans riding high, right? A lot of them, including our editor, said I just wanted to beat the Cowboys, right?
You did say that, yeah.
And last week you said who beats Dallas better than Dallas. So if they go in there on Sunday thinking that they can do the same thing, with how many times that Jimmy G missed throws, how many times they gave the Cowboys back and the Cowboys failed because they don't have Aaron Rodgers on the other side for under center, it's going to be a long day. I'll tell you that right now. It's in Lambeau. It's going to be cold. Being comfortable, being uncomfortable. And I don't think that Jimmy G can succeed in Lambeau. I think this might be his first start there, if I'm wrong.
It might be.
It might be his first start there, if I'm wrong. But yeah, I trust Aaron Rodgers at home more than anybody. And I don't know if I trust Jimmy G in the cold. Because as we know, Dallas is an indoor stadium, and Lambeau is just, when you play there in the cold, it's no good for anybody. But yes, I do expect the Niners to try to run on this team. And I think that's what the Packers have progressed in this past year. The last 2 years, they've been a top 10 defense. But everyone knows that their Achilles heel was their run defense and how atrocious it was. And I think this year they picked up on it a lot. Kenny Clark got healthy, and he's probably one of the best run stoppers.
But it is starting to get a little bit shaky with that Christmas Day game against the Browns. I think what Nick Chubb did to that team, I think it kind of put everyone on notice. Like, this team, they look a lot better, but they're shaky to me.
Here's my thing. Yeah, 2 weeks now. Prepare for that.
That is true.
And I'm pretty sure everyone knew. I honestly think that the Packers knew that they were going to face the Niners.
Probably.
For some reason. I just feel like they're going to prepare for the run game. They're going to be ready for Elijah Mitchell and Deebo Samuel. I can't wait for that Jair versus Deebo Samuel matchup, by the way. It's going to be amazing. But yeah, I'm taking the Packers, and my score prediction is 34-24.
Okay. Listen, start off with the Niners. I like this team. I really do. Don't like their fans, but I like this team.
I like the team too. I just don't like Jimmy G.
Yeah,
I think they overhyped him.
I think one thing is that we can get into a whole other topic, whole other video about Jimmy G. But looking at last week, later on in the game, I kind of felt him.
I really hope you're gonna say what you told me.
What?
Last week.
About the interception?
So it's in the E2?
What?
No, when you said the more games he wins as a 49er.
Yeah, I mean, I told Patrick this. The more games that Jimmy G wins as a 49er, the more you guys are in the loop. The more they keep Jimmy G as a starting quarterback, the more that they look at him. But I think he's nothing special. And that's not a slight at all. I think he's very good at game managing. And I think that looking at last week, the first 3 quarters, he did a great job. But when it came to that turnover, it gave Dallas all the momentum. I think you can't do that, especially against the Packers, who I think are the best team, most complete team in the NFL right now. I think you just simply have to get George Kittle involved. There's no way that he shouldn't have a single catch when it comes to the first half. he needs to get involved early and often. Give him the ball in any way. Do a Deebo Samuel thing by giving him the ball in the backfield even. I get it, he's a great blocker. He's priceless when it comes to that, but you still need to give him the ball. Set the tone early. Shut that crowd up because you know the Packers fans are going to be roaring. Get Deebo Samuel involved. And I think that this team, no matter how big, no matter how much they're down, they're still going to continue to pound the football. I think that's something that's so great about this team.
Another thing too
is that...
Sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Is that you mentioned Nick Chubb. I don't think Devondre Campbell played that game. And he was top 5 in tackles. Yeah. And I think when he was on the field, they only allowed, I want to say, like 70, 80 yards rushing per game.
It also varies on who they played, but I get you. So, but looking at the San Francisco 49ers, I think Nick Bosa, looking at him, it's going to be interesting to see how he goes. David Bakhtiari is back. That was the biggest thing that happened last year in the playoffs. Seeing how he got injured when it was the biggest game of the season, seeing how Aaron Rodgers obviously got pressured against Tampa Bay, I think that's a huge step in the right direction. I think Aaron Rodgers.
Isn't that the main point why we said the Bucs were going to win last year too?
Yeah,
why they would win? Because
I picked the Packers still, but I thought that was a big reason why they could have won. But looking at the Packers, man, now is go time. I think you and Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, 2 first-team All-Pros. Aaron Jones needs to get back into it. A.J. Dillon needs to pound the rock and be physical. We know Fred Warner is going to play. He said he's going to play. But it all comes down to the protection for Aaron Rodgers. And if Matt LaFleur, if he just coaches well enough to get Aaron Rodgers by, I think that's all it comes down to.
Put the game in
Aaron Rodgers. Please, just trust in him. Just trust in him. This isn't the NFC Championship. So just trust in him. Do whatever you need to do. Do not put it in your field goal kicker who has been inconsistent this season. So I'm going to go with the Packers. I think they're the better, well-complete team. I think that for the Niners to win, they have to play perfect. I think for the Packers to win, they just don't have to screw it up.
And that's the thing. I don't think Jimmy G can be perfect.
I don't think Jimmy G can be
against his defense.
And again, let's not forget, both of these teams earlier in the season played against each other. Both of these head coaches have a lot of, some passion, some sparks between them.
They also have a history together.
Yeah, and Packers looked very physical against the San Francisco 49ers in that first game. That was when the Niners were still kind of on the rise. The beginning of the season, they did not look bad. They looked pretty good in the beginning of the season. And Aaron Rodgers, with under a minute left, took over the game. I think the same thing could very well happen at home. I'm going with the Packers. I'm going to go 31-19.
31-19?
Yeah.
Oh, is it Pete Briscoe over here?
What was the last word you... Oh, no, I'm just saying. I think it's going to be a lot of field goals.
A lot of field goals.
For the Niners.
For the Niners.
Go ahead.
Oh, I might take it.
You gave your score prediction, though.
Yeah, I did.
What was your score prediction?
34-24.
Oh, okay. Well, that does it. I agree. Do we go on the... Do we all have the same...
We did have the same upset pick, too. God, I think we all had the same picks. Who's the other AFC game? Chiefs.
Yeah, we just
picked the Chiefs. You picked the Bills.
I picked the Chiefs.
Oh.
Wow. Okay. Well, damn. We're just in agreement. We're just in agreement all the time. So, thank you guys for watching the video. Again, give us your feedback. Who do you think is going to take each game? Tell us.
Also, the names, too.
Yeah, the names.
We would please appreciate a new name.
Yeah, and we're just continuing to grind, push these videos. What the fuck? Keep on pushing these videos. Thank you. Big shout out to Patrick, our editor, who does a lot. Shout out to Jeremiah. Don't know where he's at. Haven't heard from him in like 3 weeks, but.